In the previous video, I have already explained you about the different types of industries. Again, I have to teach classification of industries on the basis of nature of technology. The industries are divided in two parts on the basis of nature of technology. First one is heavy industries, second one is light industries. So heavy industries are those industries which are established with heavy investment, means large amount of capital, and the complex machines are utilized in these industries. The lengthy process of manufacturing, or you can say long cycle or process of manufacturing is. So these industries are operating at very large scale, and these industries are including like production of heavy machines, aeronautic, other than that shipbuilding. These are the industries which are included in the heavy industries. So आप समझ सकते हैं कि हैवी इंडस्ट्रीज वो इंडस्ट्री हैं जिसमें इन्वेस्टमेंट बहुत ही ज्यादा होता है, जिसमें बहुत ही जटिल मशीनों का, संयंत्रों का प्रयोग होता है, और जिनका प्रोसेस ऑफ प्रोडक्शन जो होता है वो लंबा होता है. तो इस तरह की इंडस्ट्रीज को हम बोलते हैं हैवी इंडस्ट्रीज. हैवी इंडस्ट्री में जैसे शिप बिल्डिंग है, एरोनॉटिक्स है, देन हैवी मशीन्स के प्रोडक्शन है. सो इस तरह से इस तरह के डिफरेंट तरह के जो है बड़ी बड़ी जो प्रोडक्शन लाइनें हैं वो हैवी इंडस्ट्रीज में. सेकेंड वन इज लाइट इंडस्ट्रीज. लाइट इंडस्ट्रीज आर दोज इंडस्ट्रीज वेयर द प्रोडक्शन ऑफ the day-to-day use like consumer goods, okay, which are required for consumption on day-to-day basis. These things are produced. So here simple technology is utilized, light machines are used, process of production is shorter as compared to the heavy industries. Their scale of its operation is small. So this way you can understand light industries are those industries which are operating at a small, means you can say in comparison to heavy industries operating at small scale, and here the investment is comparatively less. The light machines are utilized, simple process of production is utilized, and all these types of industries are coming under light industries, like production of, or you can say manufacturing of plastic, manufacturing of stationery, and some other such type of light production industries are there. These are coming under light industries. So यहाँ लाइट इंडस्ट्रीज में उन उद्योगों को हम इंक्लूड करते हैं जिनका स्केल ऑफ ऑपरेशन हैवी इंडस्ट्रीज की तुलना में कम होता है, जिनके प्रोसेस ऑफ प्रोडक्शन जो है छोटे होते हैं, जिनमें इन्वेस्टमेंट कम होता है, और इनका मैन्युफैक्चरिंग जो साइकिल है ये भी छोटा होता है. तो इस तरह के उद्योग को हम लाइट इंडस्ट्री बोलते हैं. जैसे मैन्युफैक्चरिंग ऑफ स्मॉल टॉयज, द स्टेशनरी, प्रिंटिंग प्रेस, देन स्मॉल प्लास्टिक industries are there. So small items are plastic which are manufactured in the industry. So these are coming under light industry. Second classification is given here on the basis of size of industries. If we see the size of industries, industries are divided in two categories: large scale industries and small scale industries. So large scale industries are those industries where the investment is done more than 1 crore rupees. Means all those industries where the investment in their plant and machinery is more than rupees 1 crore. Those industries are coming under large scale industries, and these industries are implying the large number of manpower. Then the large number of manpower utilized, the machines are, you can say, the larger value machines are utilized there, means manpower, along with manpower machines are utilized in these industries. And here the example of these large scale industries are like cement industries, cotton and textile industries, then petrochemical industries, automobile industries. So all these are the example of large scale industry. Large scale industries मीन्स बड़े उद्योग। बड़े उद्योग में हम उन सभी उद्योगों को इंक्लूड करते हैं जिनका कैपिटल इन्वेस्टमेंट, इनके प्लांट एंड मशीनरी में जो इन्वेस्टमेंट होता है इसमें 1 करोड़ से ज्यादा रुपए का इन्वेस्टमेंट होता है। ऐसे इंडस्ट्रीज को हम लार्ज स्केल इंडस्ट्री। लार्ज स्केल इंडस्ट्रीज, इसमें ज्यादा संख्या में लोग काम करते हैं, मैन पावर भी ज्यादा होता है और मशीन्स भी, इसमें इन्वेस्टमेंट भी ज्यादा है। तो इस तरह से, जैसे उदाहरण के लिए हमने बताया सीमेंट उद्योग, लौह उद्योग, देन इसमें आप इंक्लूड कर सकते हैं टेक्सटाइल इंडस्ट्रीज, शुगर इंडस्ट्रीज। सो ये सब इंडस्ट्रीज को हम लार्ज स्केल इंडस्ट्री बोलते हैं। वंस अगेन आई एम रिपीटिंग, लार्ज स्केल इंडस्ट्रीज आर दोज इंडस्ट्रीज वेयर the total investment in their plant and machinery is more than rupees 1 crore. So those industries are called large scale industries. The large number of people are working. The investment in plant and machinery is also comparatively larger amount of money is invested there, and there the large number of manpower is working. Example of these industries are cement industry, textile industry, and many other industries are there like sugar industry you can take, and iron and steel industries are there. So all these are coming under large scale industries. Second classification is given, that is small scale industries. So small scale industries are those industrial units where the investment in these industries in the plant and machinery is below rupees 1 crore. So लघु उद्योग उन उद्योगों को बोलते हैं जिन उद्योगों में कुल विनियोग, उनके प्लांट एंड मशीनरी में जो विनियोग है, जो इन्वेस्टमेंट है, वो 1 करोड़ से नीचे होता है। ऐसे उद्योगों को हम बोलते हैं लघु उद्योग और स्मॉल स्केल इंडस्ट्रीज। स्मॉल स्केल इंडस्ट्रीज are including the production of stationery, knitwear, bicycle parts, etc. So a small value goods are there which are produced. The process of manufacturing also simple and easy. The small machines are utilized. All those industries are coming in the small scale industry. Once again I am repeating, small scale industries are those industries which are using the simple technology. The total investment in plant and machinery is less than rupees 1 crore, and they are using small number of or less number of manpower, and this way these industries are engaged in production of small parts, stationery, and these are working as ancillary or auxiliary to other industry, large scale industry. So these are coming here under small scale industry. Now you have to understand here about the meaning and role of commerce. Students, I have already explained you the business is divided in 2 parts. First part is industry, and second part is commerce. So about industry, all the classifications I have already explained. Now you have to understand here about the commerce. So first you have to understand meaning of commerce, and then I will tell you about the role of commerce. So here you have to understand first meaning of commerce and then role of commerce. Meaning and role of commerce. Meaning and role of commerce. Commerce means it is the activity which is consisting of all the activities which facilitates sale, transfer and exchange of goods and services. Means commerce is the activity which is concerned with distribution of goods and transfer of ownership of goods. Means sale, transfer, exchange of goods and services. So all those activities which are concerned to the sale, transfer and exchange of goods and services are called commercial activities. Commerce, the basic aim of commerce is to maintain the supply of goods. Supply of goods means commerce ensures the supply of goods at right time and right place. Means commerce is playing very important role in supply of right quality, right quantity of goods at right time and right place. That is concerned to the commerce. That is aim of commerce. Aim of commerce. Here the nature of commerce is given here. The definition, if you see the definition of commerce, through that nature or characteristic of the commerce is revealed here. First, nature of commerce under nature of commerce. Nature of commerce. First characteristic or nature of commerce is here it involves exchange of goods and services. Involves exchange of goods and services. Goods and services. Second, it is part of business. Commerce is part of business. As I have always said, the business has two parts, industry and commerce. So, commerce is part of business. The commercial activities are always undertaken with a motive of earning profit. Third, it is undertaken with a motive, to earn profit. So commercial activities are always, these are performed, and purpose behind that is to generate profit. The commercial activities are involving risk and uncertainty. Here involves element of elements of risk and uncertainties. It involves elements of risk and uncertainties. So always in all the commercial activities, risks are involved, uncertainties are there. Means anything may happen and that may turn business into loss. So that is called a risk and uncertainties. The next one is it creates various types of utilities. Creation of utilities. Creation of utilities. Always commerce creates the utilities by its facilities, several type of facilities. It creates the different types of utility like time utility, place utility, possession utility. Okay, so all the utilities are created by the commerce. Here you have seen the meaning of commerce, nature or characteristics of commerce. Now we have to understand here the role or functions of commerce. Role or functions of commerce. Role or functions of commerce. So here commerce is playing very important role in the life of a business, and it is working to remove the various types of hindrances which is arising in the exchange of goods and services. Commerce is made for the purpose of facilitating trade activities. So whatever the barriers or obstacles are coming in the way of trade activities, commerce provide facilities through which the barriers of trade and business are removed. So here you can see the several type of barriers which are removed by the commerce. That is given here. First one is hindrance of person. What I have said? Commerce is playing very important role in facilitating smooth running of trades, and in that way commerce performs the work of removing hindrances of trade. So what type of hindrances the commerce is removing? That is called here functions of commerce. So first one is hindrance of person. First one is hindrance of person. So hindrance of person, as you know that commerce removes the hindrance of person. Like here there is a lack of contact between producer and the consumers. So producer has a lot of problem. Producers are facing a lot of problem just to find the buyers. So this way, commerce has provided the place where the consumers are coming. Means hundreds of person. Commerce has provided a facility of marketing. Marketing, you are understanding, the place of market or any means through which the buyers and sellers are connected. Means when manufacturers are manufacturing, they have to always think that to whom they have to sell the goods. Okay? And other way, if we see, the producers are there, the consumers are there, consumers are thinking where they will get the goods which they are in need. So this way, commerce has provided a platform. On that platform, these two, buyers and sellers, means manufacturers are able to produce and supply their produce to the market, and the consumers are there. They know the place, that is the marketplace where the goods will be available. So this way, it provides a platform to bring the buyers and sellers at one place, and this way it provides a facility to remove the hindrance of persons. Second one is hindrance of place. Hindrance of place. Hindrance of place, commerce has provided facility of transportation, and by means of transportation it is continuously engaged in carrying goods from place of production to the place of consumption. Means goods are produced far away from the place of requirement, and it is commerce which has provided a facility of transport through which the goods are carried from the place of production to the place of consumption. Means always goods are carried from place of production, it clears the place of production and further provides opportunity for production, and this way the goods which are carried from place of production, these are brought near to the market. Means where the consumer is really in need of the goods. So this way you can say, by means of transportation, commerce has removed the hindrance of place. Third one is, that is hindrance of time. Hindrance of time. Hindrance of time, commerce has provided the facility of warehouse. The goods which are produced by the manufacturers, these goods are not produced according to the requirement. Requirement in the market, it may increase or decrease, but the production is done continuously. When the production takes place continuously, then the goods are required to be carried and to be stored. So commerce has provided the facility of warehouse. By availing this facility, the producers are in position to produce the goods and to carry the goods near to the market. Goods are stored in the warehouse, and when the requirements are there in the market, in accordance to the requirement, the goods are carried to the market. So commerce has provided the facility of warehouse, through that when the goods are required, in the market according to the requirement of the markets. Goods are supplied in the market. When the number of customers are increasing, goods are taken out from the warehouse, brought to the market to satisfy the need of customers. When there is shortage of demand, then the goods are kept in the warehouse. So this way, the supply and demand is coming on equilibrium, and that helps in stabilizing the price. Stabilizing the price means the price of the goods are stabilized, means goods are sold on certain rates. When there is neither shortage nor surplus of goods in the market. So this way we can once again understand commerce has provided the facility of warehouse through which the goods are stored near to the market. It provides opportunity to the producer to produce continuously, and on the other hand it ensures the supply of goods in the market according to the needs of market, and this way it helps in price stabilization. Now the next point is, that is hindrance of risk. Hindrance of risk. Here, hindrance of risk, commerce has provided the facility of insurance, and through that facility, whatever the risks are arising in the business, those risks are transferred on insurance companies. Generally, the businessmen are buying the insurance policies on payment of nominal amount in form of premium, and with that, the business organizations are in position to transfer their risk on insurance company, and this way they are making them free from the anxiety of risk and uncertainty, and this way they are in position to concentrate themselves on their business activities. The next point is, that is hindrance of exchange. Hindrance of exchange. So hindrance of exchange is removed by the money. You are understanding? Now the barter system is changed, and in place of that, this money system of exchange is there. Earlier the goods were exchanged for goods, so it was very tough task to develop the proper ratio of exchange among the various articles which were sold in the market. But now the commerce has provided money as a common medium of exchange. So all the goods and services which are brought in the market, their value is calculated in terms of money. And once the value is calculated in terms of money, then easily the goods are exchanged for money. All the goods are having some monetary value. Their value, their price is declared in terms of money. The buyers are bringing that money, and easily they are able to purchase goods for money. So this is the facility which is provided by the commerce by removing the hindrance of exchange. The next one is hindrance of knowledge. Hindrance of knowledge. Hindrance of knowledge. Commerce, removes the hindrance of knowledge, because here both buyers and the producers, they are not aware about the requirement and about the availability of the goods. Manufacturers are also not able to know about the requirements of the market until and unless they are launching survey in the market, and the buyers are also not aware about the availability of the goods. So, hindrance of knowledge. Commerce has provided a facility of advertisement and publicities. Advertisement and publicity. The different means of communication are provided by the commerce. So, through that means of communication, the knowledge is shared. Knowledge is shared means informations are exchanged. Manufacturers are in position to collect information from the market. That informations are the basis of processing, and based on the process information, goods and services are produced. In the other way, when the goods and services are produced, these goods and services are needed to be provided to the people, those who are in need. So, when the goods are produced, at the same time the manufacturers are advertising about the goods and services available. So, through that the consumers are becoming aware and they are knowing the knowledge about the goods, quality, their usefulness, their availability, the price at which it will be sold, the terms and conditions which are needed to be accepted or considered for the exchange. So all these are coming under the knowledge about the goods and services. So commerce has provided this facility of publicity and advertisement or means of communication through which the hindrance of knowledge is removed. So this way the functions of commerce I have already explained, and further I have to teach you about the branches of commerce that I will teach you later in next video. Okay, so thanks. Always try to see this and try to learn. The more you will see, the more you will be able to learn and understand. Thanks.